Hi everyone, Lisa here from Down to Earth Gardening, and welcome to today's video, which is on mulch and mulching. So I want to talk today a lot about why mulching is so important, why I love it so much, and then I want to talk about mulch itself a little bit, and then I want to show you our technique and how to mulch like a pro. So I'm here in Northeast Connecticut in Zone 6A, and it's midsummer, and I have to say that typically we would be mulching in early spring, and that is the ideal time before everything starts coming up, including your weeds, and it's nice and cool. So that really opens up the garden in the spring. But because of the gardening business, I don't usually get to my house until midsummer if we're lucky, and so that's where we are today. So you're going to see some familiar looking gardens here today. So mulching, and why I love it so much, it is one of the biggest tasks that we do in the garden, and that's because number one, it makes a garden look really beautiful, really tidy. A freshly mulched garden looks so amazing. So the look of it. But that's actually not the top reason why we put down mulch. There are actually three other really important reasons to do that in your garden. So the next reason is that it helps you keep weeds at bay. And we do have a weed video, and boy, do we get some weeds. But mulching, if you do a nice thick layer, will help you keep the weeds at bay, which is really helpful because there's so many other tasks to do in the garden. So definitely will help you with that task. The next reason is it helps retain moisture. So it's really tough, especially mid-end of summer, to keep your plants hydrated. And the easiest thing you can do to help with that is to put a nice thick layer of mulch on your garden. So that will help you keep them hydrated, and it will also eliminate having to drag those hoses out all the time. So, and the last reason I love mulch is that it's actually really helping your soil. So if you use the right kind of mulch, you will notice that underneath your layer, you will get a lot of worm action and some nice worm castings. So it'll really protect your soil, and it will get some good stuff going underneath that nice thick layer. So a little bit about mulch. You can see this huge pile of mulch behind me. And I will say that we mostly have mulch delivered in bulk. So we have some bigger jobs, and it just makes sense to do that. But I also do think in comparing prices of bagged mulch versus buying it bulk, that it is more economical if you're buying it in bulk. So I know it's a little tougher to put down. So if you have small spaces, or you're doing this project by yourself, then maybe bags is the way to go. But for the most part, we use bulk mulch like you see behind me. This here is about 15 yards, so we've got a lot going on here today. So my favorite kind of mulch is definitely a fine ground. So sometimes it's called a triple ground mulch. And you can see here that it's a fine ground bark mulch. So if you can get a nice hardwood mulch from a reputable spot, landscape supply company, that's ideal. But you can also find mulch that has a little bit of dye in it. And if you're okay with that, that can be nice because mulch tends to fade really quick. So if you want to give your garden an extra little sparkle, you may want to use some darker mulch with a little bit of dye in it. But we always use triple ground. We tend to stay away from the red ground mulch unless a client is really adamant about having the red ground, because the red has a ton of dye in it. And I just don't think that's great for the environment. So as far as technique, I'm going to tell you a few of our tricks so you can mulch like the pros, and then we're going to get out in the garden. So first trick is to have your tools ready. We use wheelbarrows, we use pitchforks, we use shovels, And I do try to put some of my favorite tools that make our life easier for you all at home in the description. So I'll try to throw up some links of the favorite mulching tools that we have. But our method is to put a minimum of 2 to 3 inches down. So that's the layer that you want in order to get the benefits of the weed control, the watering to retain the moisture, and to help get some warm action going underneath. So the goal is 2 to 3 inches of mulch. And you always want to have your gardens prepped first, especially when you're getting a delivery like this. So that means you want to have it weeded out. You want to put down any amendments that you're going to do first, and then you're ready to put your mulch down. So come on and join us in the garden and we'll show you exactly how we do it. So mulching complete, we're out here. It's the following morning. As you can see, I'm all cleaned up. Man, was it a hot, sweaty day. But 20 yards of mulch put down. So we wanted to show you the results of our work, our hard work. And I also want to talk about 3 additional tips or just some notes on mulching for those of you that are going to be mulching your garden at home. So first, I just wanted to say that a leaf rake is really useful when you're spreading the mulch. So in the video, you may have seen the guys dumping the wheelbarrows and making some little piles for me. And so I spread the mulch around, and a lot of it is handwork. You know, I feel like I literally touch every inch of the garden when we're mulching. So I try to even it out. But I do know how to use a leaf rake. So you may have all seen me flip the rake around. So if you're using the rake the correct way, what you're able to do is move your mulch around, but when you flip it over, you can even it out without shuffling or dragging mulch anywhere. So I like to just kind of even out the little mounds, and also I can even out my footprint, so I kind of work backwards when I'm doing that. So essential tool. So number 2, you may have seen from our edging video that we love to put a nice sharp edge on gardens, but you may have noticed here that we did not put an edge on. So that was because, and we did mention this in the video, we don't have any full grown beefy grass to edge up against. So when there's nothing to do that sharp edge up against, it just kind of caves in. So some of the areas we are waiting for the grass to come in so we can really do an edge. But as I said, it's important to get that mulch down anyway for your water retention and your weed retention. So, and last but not least, I do want to say that even though it's midsummer and we're out here putting mulch down, you can mulch any time of year other than winter in my zone. So spring, summer, fall is totally fine whenever you get to it. It's just that in the early spring, in my opinion, it's the easiest time to do it because nothing has really come up yet except maybe a few bulbs. So you're not working around all those plants. So it'll go a little quicker, but you can certainly mulch any time of year, and there's so many benefits to it. So that's it. I hope you really enjoyed this video. We have lots more to come. We really enjoy sharing these with you. Thank you so much for joining me. And again, I want to thank my Down to Earth team, who is so amazing. And if you liked it, hit like and subscribe to our channel for some future gardening videos.